TSgt Crossland. You are not here to photograph another person's promotion, but to be promoted yourself. Please pass the camera to Captain Bertie Cato. Yes, please be seated. You can probably tell she had no idea they were coming. To witness this momentous occasion, I'd like to introduce her special guests, who have managed to keep this a secret for up to a month. They include her baby, a little 7-pound Yorkie named Bear. Yes, he is her baby. He even has his own stroller. And he has been with TSgt Crossland for most or all of the duration of her military career to many bases and assignments. Please stand and wave so they can recognize you are. Her mother, Lavinia Abney. Her sister, Gina Abney Baldwin. Her sister, Luanya Crossland, and her family, Giovanna, Erica, Eva, and her grandson, Jeffrey, and their guest, Army retired Eric Ferguson. Her sister, Xavier Crossland Ross, and her family, Iasia, Jada, Jamel, Jeremiah, Justin, Jeter, Akira, Amira, and their guest, Shadenia. We'd also like to introduce the Vice Commander, 512th Airlift Wing, Colonel J. Scott Hayes, and the First Sergeant, 512th Airlift Wing Staff Agency, Master Sergeant Juan Gonzalez. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem and the invocation by TSgt Crossland's sister, Luanya Crossland.
Responsibility of leadership in this community of peacemakers. She has been influenced by others in a variety of contexts that have prepared her for her task of leadership. Be always with Mercedes in carrying out the duties of her leadership role, so that by her life and teaching heart, your truth and peace may be known. Direct her, and by extension, all those whom she leads, O God, and all the decisions which she will be involved in the future. Direct her with your most gracious favor, so that she may be able to complete the task set before her with your continual help. May all her judgments begin, continue, and end in you. Each day we entrusted with the task of peacemaking in our homes, in our workplace, in our nations, in our world. We know that we are each finite and frail, unable to know the full implications of the decisions we make during our seasons of faith and learning in our lives. Yet, oh God, we thank you for inspiring us, nourishing us, and uniting us with this vision of community of peacemakers. Grant to us the wisdom that comes through both faith and action. Help us to be your people of peace in all nations of the world. Amen.
Thank you. At this time, we would like to highlight just a few of the many military contributions Sergeant Crossland has been a part of during her military career. As a military member who has lived abroad for 15 plus years, her family has not been able to be a part of some of the major milestones that she has accomplished. So Captain Kale, the Chief of Public Affairs, would like to share a few words.
Thank you. Surprise. It's always great having her in the office. This is more of like a family style atmosphere. Our office is really small, and I brought my kids in, I think, the first UTA, and she just loved them. They're full of energy. They never listen when you're in public. But I think the reserve, what we do on a UTA is we bond about as close as a family can get. Crossland and myself have had lots of conversations about faith, about life, about kids. But we were talking recently, and we were kind of going over like what our purpose is in life, what I am doing here on Dover, what she's doing here on Dover, and kind of figuring out our place in the Air Force and the Air Force Reserve. But before I talk about that, I want to talk a little bit how our paths have crossed, like probably 3 or 4 times in our career. Back when I was enlisted as a sergeant, I was in air transportation, and I was deployed to Qatar, and we were actually the first unit to bring in MRAPs to Afghanistan. And this was in 07, and she was actually one of the first units to receive those MRAPs. Just need to get off. Okay. Go. Going back. Going back. So we brought in MRAPs. She was the first unit, or one of the first units to receive the MRAPs. So there was that kind of crossover, and she was doing PA. She was working with EOD, Navy or Army EOD, and she was doing basically frontline, tip of the spear type of work. And I was doing air transportation. I was working in Alaska, and we somehow had that connection. And then when she went to JPAC and was doing documentation photos for bringing the missing in action and prisoner of war, folks who have been missing for 50, 60 some odd years, and she was documenting these plane crashes and these remains and these recovery operations, she actually came up to Alaska to document a crash that happened in 1952. This plane had crashed, and I believe 23 lives were lost. And it was found in 2012, and it had finally appeared from the glacier. And I was actually there the second day of operations. She got there the next week after. And we had never met, we had never talked, but we had, throughout our Air Force careers, we had done similar things. We were just on kind of opposite ends of the spectrum. And that's what I love about the Air Force, is no matter how big it is, no matter how many missions you have, you're always one Air Force, and you always tend to cross paths with people, whether from Alaska, Hawaii, your secondary home, and now Dover, which we're both at. We have a similar story, and we all both love to serve our Air Force in the Air Force Reserve. So, Sergeant Crossland, thank you. And we put a lot of thought into this, and it's not, we are so proud of you, and we cannot believe that we get to have you here in the Air Force Reserve in public affairs. So thank you.
I'm going to now recite the description of the rank of technical sergeant as outlined in the Air Force Enlisted Structure Handbook. Tech sergeants are often their organization's technical experts. They must continuously strive to further their development as technicians, supervisors, and leaders through on and off-duty professional development opportunities. They are responsible for their subordinates' development and the effective accomplishment of all assigned tasks. They must ensure proper and effective use of all resources under their control to ensure the mission is effectively and efficiently accomplished. Tech sergeants operate at the tactical expertise level of leadership. The official term of address is technical sergeant or sergeant. To make this rank official for Sergeant Crossland, Colonel Hanks.
Oh, okay, well, thank you for being here, family. I think I shook and met most everyone's hand. I missed those two young ladies on the end. But I'll do that at the reception. Sorry about that. I'm glad you're all here. It speaks volumes about how important Mercedes' family is to her and how important she is to you. And so thank you for taking your time, because that's the one thing that we don't get any more of, right? So you decided to spend your time with us today. She decides to spend her time with us once a month, right? And the rest of us in uniform here do that same thing every month. We decide to spend our time to serve, and no one has done it better. So we are trying to recognize. You notice the rank, the description of the technical sergeant. We don't give you technical sergeant and hope that you become one, right? You've already shown that you're a technical sergeant in numerous ways. And this is just a way of recognizing that performance. And by the grace of God and some miraculous administrative work in the Air Force, this is a win for us, because this wasn't supposed to happen. Not because of her or us, but because of the bureaucracy that is our Air Force. It exists, right? It's a big organization. Got to have some layers in there to make the gears turn. This was one gear that needed to be fixed. It was just plain broke, and it has now been fixed. So today we're celebrating that and the great accomplishment for you. And we are all, as you can tell, pretty happy. Otherwise, we wouldn't have deceived you for this long. So that's all I have to say. Thank you again for being here. It is a great day for you as a family and for you as an individual to share. Okay, we mean that. All right. So without further ado,
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the reading of the promotion order.
publish the order.
Attention to orders. The President of the United States, acting upon the recommendation of the Secretary of the Air Force, has placed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, integrity, and qualities of Staff Sergeant Mercedes Kimball Crossland. In view of these special qualities and her demonstrated potential to serve in the higher grade, Mercedes Kimball Crossland is promoted to the permanent grade of Technical Sergeant, United States Air Force, 1 June 2015, by special order of the Secretary of the Air Force.
You happy to there? I would now like to point out that Sergeant Crossland's out of uniform and we need to fix that.
Yeah.
Yes, you have. somebody accompany Bear.
You want them on the stage or you want to go down? Okay.
And your mother.
Do you want to?
Yeah, let's have,
Let's
yeah.
go down.
Yeah.
Come
Find
down.
out so your mom can help.
It'll be much better.
What we'll do first is we'll help her don her new rank.
Oh. We
And
need
then
another.
we'll proceed with the ceremonial tacking symbolically of this stripe.
The other helper to do. One of the sisters.
Luanya, you were instrumental in making this happen.
You were going to help
Please.
her don that, as it were. You may have to let your baby,
Let me hold Bear.
Here, I'll hold there, you take pictures.
Off of that. Give me a sec.
give her some room to take pictures.
Okay.
And just so you know, audience, we had to secretly find out what size she was. And ladies, as part of our heritage, if you could symbolically tack on her new stripes.
So what you do,
A little bit of fist.
you just go like that, you just hold it right there. You don't have to hit her too hard, but if you want.
Yeah, he's gonna take it.
There we go, perfect, okay. Yep, so just hold it right there.
Yeah.
Good job. Perfect.
And then
It's
you
my
can hit her.
distinct
Yes.
pleasure to
No, you can
present
Mm-hmm.
hit her.
Technical Sergeant Mercedes Kimmel Crossland.
Perfect.
Please be seated.
You gotta tack it on.
Here's gonna,
There you go. We'll take family photos at the end. Sergeant Crossland,
Congratulations.
the floor is yours.
First, I want to say thank you to all of you that came here. I guess if you watch that video, you probably see the surprise on my face watching my mother walking in and I was like, okay. They've come all the way from New York and Maryland, and I've been active duty 15 years. Higher attendant hit me and I didn't make tech, and so I had the blessing to become a reservist. I just want to thank all of you for coming here, my family especially. It's not often, I can tell you, I've had assignments amazing. The Air Force has been incredible to me. Italy, Germany, Hawaii, twice. A lot overseas. I spent a lot of those 15 years overseas, which caused me not to get to see them as much as other people to see their family. So this is just another milestone in my career and something that I will never forget for the rest of my life. They mean the world to me. They are my world, you know, why I fight for our country. So I just want to thank you all. And this is my baby.
Typically when somebody gets promoted and they have a ceremony, they usually present flowers to their significant other or your loved one, but we got them for you. Because it was a surprise. On behalf of Technical Sergeant Crossland, thank you for attending today's ceremony and thank you for being patient while we waited for the family to all get here. Please rise for the departure of the official party.